The call came in the middle of a bright morning, sunlight spilling across my kitchen floor as if nothing in the world could be wrong. My phone vibrated once, twice, and when I saw my brother's name, my chest tightened before I even answered. By the time the call ended, my hands were shaking, my heart hollow, because in a few cold sentences he had delivered three truths at once. Our mother was gone, he had inherited everything she owned, and I was left with nothing. When I put the phone down, instead of screaming or crying, I found myself smiling, a slow, strange smile that surprised even me. If you believe that kindness and second chances still matter in this world, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Dreams Journal, because stories like this are for everyone who has ever been counted out and still chose grace. My name is Elara Monroe, and for most of my adult life I had been the invisible child. My brother Vincent was the golden one, the achiever, the son who stayed close to home and knew how to speak the language of success. I was the one who left our small town in daylight with a suitcase and a head full of hope, chasing work that paid little but felt honest. Over the years, distance grew, not just in miles but in understanding. Vincent believed I had abandoned responsibility, and when our mother's health declined, he became her daily support. I sent money when I could, called whenever work allowed, and carried guilt like a stone in my pocket, always there, always heavy. The day I returned for the funeral, the sky was painfully blue, the kind of clear daytime sky that makes grief feel out of place. Our childhood house looked smaller, quieter, as if it had already begun forgetting us. Vincent barely looked at me. Papers were signed, condolences exchanged, and everything moved quickly, efficiently, like a business transaction. I learned then that our mother had left the house, the savings, even her jewelry to him alone. There was no mention of me. People whispered, assuming I must have done something wrong. I nodded, swallowed my pride, and let them think whatever they wanted. What no one saw were the years before, the moments that never made it into legal documents. They did not see me taking unpaid leave to sit beside my mother's hospital bed during a summer when Vincent was overseas for work. They did not see the afternoons I spent sorting her medications, cooking simple meals, listening to her fears as daylight streamed through thin curtains. They did not know that during those quiet hours, she spoke not of houses or money, but of forgiveness, of how life tests hearts in unfair ways. After the funeral, I stayed one more day. I walked through the town in the afternoon sun, past places that remembered me better than people did. At the edge of town stood a modest community center, newly painted but clearly underfunded. A banner fluttered outside, announcing a daytime program for children who needed tutoring and meals. Inside, laughter echoed, thin but hopeful. I stood there for a long time, feeling something settle in my chest, something my mother had once planted. Weeks later, after returning to my small apartment and routine, a letter arrived. It was not from a lawyer, but from a local bank. Inside was a simple note explaining that a trust had been activated in my name. It held no fortune, but it held purpose. My mother had quietly sold a piece of land years earlier and set the money aside, instructing that it be used to help others in daylight hours, openly, without recognition. She had trusted me with that task, not because I was responsible on paper, but because she believed in the way I saw people. That was why I smiled when my brother said I got nothing. He had inherited possessions. I had inherited intention. I moved back, not into the house, but into the work. I partnered with the community center, expanding their programs, hiring tutors, offering meals, and opening doors to children who had nowhere else to go during the day. Word spread slowly. parents thanked me with tired eyes and steady hands. Children learn to read, to hope, to imagine futures wider than our town. I never put my name on a plaque. I did not need to. Vincent noticed eventually. He saw the center full, saw familiar faces changed by opportunity. One afternoon, under the same bright sky that had witnessed our mother's goodbye, he stood across the street watching. There was confusion on his face, then something softer. He never apologized outright, but he did not need to. Sometimes understanding arrives without ceremony. Life did not suddenly become easy. Money was always tight, and there were days I questioned everything. But each morning, when sunlight filled the rooms and children arrived with backpacks and dreams, I felt rich in a way no inheritance could provide. My mother had known that I would. If this story has touched your heart, if it reminded you that love and purpose can outlast loss, please take a moment near the end of this video to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories like this reach others who need them. And before this story ends, I have one special request for you. Comment below with a single word that represents what you would choose to inherit in life if money were not part of the equation. Because sometimes, getting nothing means receiving exactly what you were meant to carry forward, in daylight, with an open heart.